As I said earlier, we are only controlling human behavior. We have not found a single handle on the virus, and virus is displaying various new capabilities and different level of competence and different level of damage that it can cause. What was understood as a largely respiratory and problem now has gone into various places. One of deep concern is, one thing is, it is definitely attacking the immune system. And something of deeper concern is it is also impacting the neurological system, causing a certain level of brain damage. Those who are already damaged, maybe there's room for them, but this is a deep concern because many, if not many, at least a few of the patients, those infected by the virus have gone into seizures, loss of memory, and of course everybody knows about loss of smell is the first thing, which is a neurological sign, and it is leading to various levels of damage. And scientists, nobody is very clear, but they're estimating it could also leave permanent damage in the neurological system. Or in other words, essentially it's getting more complex than what we thought it is, that we thought it's just a respiratory thing, we just manage our lungs and things will be okay. At the same time, the positive sign is over 80% of the people infected by the virus don't show any sign, any symptom, and they go through it silently, which is plus and a great minus too, because these silently infected people, asymptomatic infections, they are giving it to everybody all over the place because they don't even know they carry it. So ultimately, a huge economic cost of, in the end, testing all the 7.6 billion people, this onerous task is what the virus is kind of pushing us towards, because 80% of the people who are infected don't show any signs, means we will have to quarantine people who have no symptoms. We will have to treat people who have no symptoms, which is going to be very difficult, as it is around the world, also in India. A certain amount of social restlessness is also building up, cooped up in their homes for too long, concerns about economic well-being, businesses being closed, people, not only the daily wages, even monthly salary earners losing out on their economic, advantage that they had, or their savings and other things running out, and the fear of that people see that more than 50% of the world's workforce can go unemployed for a year or two. Those who are in variety of businesses, right now, I think software industry has already started load shedding. That is, they're trying to drop people from their employment roles because they think next 3 to 4 quarters, there will be no demand and they cannot sustain these people. Clothing industry, they believe 80% of the jobs may go away for a year or two because fashion and clothing will be out of fashion for some time, which is… I hear that those who are eco-warriors, they're all saying, this is it, this is good, people can live with less number of clothes, all this is very true. But this is not the time to talk that language. I've been talking that language in the past. But now when people are losing jobs in a massive way, this is not the time to celebrate those gains. Those gains have to happen in a planned way, not in such a cruel way. Challenges are multiplying, but nations are losing their patience. Nations are losing their resilience to hang on to the lockdowns. There's a lot of debate all over the place whether this lockdown is really needed or let's go out and do what we have to do, let's see what the virus will do. These kind of bravados are going on, but at the same time, I think over 250,000 people have died, is it? Nearly 200,000 people have lost their lives. That's not a small number to ignore. This is a real challenge, how we deal with this. Every one of us have to figure out ways to rejig ourselves, our activity, how we do things in the world, how we live in this world. We can't just go on living as we have been living, many changes need to happen. The Union Government of India has passed an ordinance that if you attack or in any way threaten a health worker, a doctor or a nurse, or somebody who is fighting for maintaining or controlling this virus infections, a new law where you could be arrested without bail, you could go to prison for 5 to 7 years, various stringent laws, because these attacks are also rising. They don't want… certain people don't believe they will be affected by this virus and they're attacking the medical personnel who go to treat them or to test them. They don't want to be tested because they're afraid they will be forcefully taken to a hospital or put in a quarantine. So, all social issues are roiling up, and obviously when this is going on, simply another lockdown and another lockdown will become difficult. Relaxing the lockdown, we don't know where it'll take us, but that's where we are. If we do not pay attention to all sides, we should pay a lot of attention to the virus, we should pay attention to those who are saying this could kill the humanity. We should pay attention to those people who say nothing will happen, we can just go out and do what we want, let's get the economic engine rolling. And 1,000 other shades of people in between. It's important to listen to all of them to make a reasonably right decision. I don't think anybody can make a really perfect decision because nobody has a full grasp of what this can do and how it can run through a human society. At least a reasonably right kind of decision, we need everything. But there are many, you've heard of kangaroo courts, but that did not… Kangaroo, though, limited itself to Australia. The kangaroo courts did not remain in Australia alone, they went all over the world. That is, just jump to a judgment. This happened. At one time, Shankaran Pillai became a judge in the local court. He was not always on the other side. So, then he got record number of judgments going. So they wanted to give him an award because he is clearing the maximum number of cases. Then this award-giving committee asked him, how do you manage this? You are delivering the maximum number of judgments. He said, I only listen to the plaintiff. They said, what, you don't listen to the defendant? No, if I listen to both, it just confuses me, I just listen. There are a lot of people like this. They just want to listen to one thing and take a decision, let's see if it works. No, too many lives are on the line, we can't take a decision like that. It's not just about you, because it concerns everybody's lives. I think we need to listen to every little bit of information that is there and try to arrive at a reasonably correct kind of decision for each nation. One thing that's happening in India is, the fatalities are very low compared to the number of people infected, and recovery is also getting very good. People are recovering faster with medical attention. So, is it leaving any damage in them? What is the long-term impact? These things can be assessed later, but you got them back on their feet, that is important. So that is a good sign. Maybe we are little more resistant and resilient in that sense, but the number of deaths in United States is very worrying. Why is it the fatalities are so high when medical attention happens quick and the best possible medical attention is largely available to most people? Why the death rate is so high? Many explanations. Some of them are saying because one thing is there is a very large geriatric population, but that is not all right, because when you look at the age group of people dying, a whole lot of people between 40 and 60 are dying. Below 40 also there are quite a few, but lower percentage. Another explanation is, too many of them are on some kind of addictions. So those who have addictions, their immune systems are always very low, and that could be the reason. It is very much possible, because it's considered very normal to be addicted to something. It is just that I am addicted to a little lesser evil than you, so I am better than you kind of attitude. This could be playing havoc, but this is something that needs to be looked at properly, scientifically. A proper study needs to be made. Why in one country the number of deaths are so heavy in a nation where maximum medical facilities are there and the quickest possible medical response is there. In spite of that, why are so many people dying is something that needs to be looked at, that could definitely give us a better understanding of how this virus functions and deals with us. They're also categorizing 3 varieties of the same virus, A, B, C right now. I'm sure they will get some exotic names shortly. So there is a variety, B variety and C variety. So is it the variety of virus which is making the difference, or is it the state, the physical status and the health status of individual people which is making the difference, is something that needs to be arrived at, which will give us a little better understanding of how to deal with ourselves. Who should go out, who should not go out, we should be able to determine this. Who will be vulnerable, who will not be vulnerable. I think this call and this understanding is very, very important. And also, all this joblessness that's going to happen, we should definitely look at how to minimize that. And everybody should learn to work with… we are largely living on pumpkin, are we? At least that's that's happening to me, I hope it's happening to you also. So, how to minimize our lifestyles so that everybody can have some kind of a job in terms of lowered salaries, so that instead of firing a whole lot of employees, everybody can go on 50% salary and everybody can have a job, and redirect this huge human resource into other dimensions of many things that are neglected, ecological aspects, policy aspects, various aspects of governance and variety of things in the world which have not been done. Now, when the markets are down, when other activity is down, I think this is the time to attend to it. But it's easier said than done because reorganizing people, reorienting people, training them, getting them into activity is not going to be an easy thing. But we must do the difficult things, otherwise this may end up being too cruel to a whole lot of people whom virus did not even touch.
This question is from Shashank.